What's up, everyone? I am here. Let's go. Anyway, so I turned down the music just a little bit because we're here. So I want to preface this with new characters that probably came out since I've done any type of Genshin tier list. That being said, I got a bit louder in my ear. Hold up. There we go. I can turn that up. Okay, yeah, much better. Anyway, so please note that this is not a jab toward the voice actors or anybody who likes these characters. This is my personal opinion. Hopefully everyone here knows what an opinion is. Whether you think mine's trash or not, that is completely up to you, and it's okay. Difference of opinions, what makes everyone human. Anyway, just going out the way. Let's get started. As someone who has to play as the Mel Traveler, he's just meh. It's not like... I don't find his design to be super complex or amazing, in my personal opinion. He's not my favorite. Lumine, I'll give good. I think I like her aesthetic more than I like Aether's. Moving on to Jean. I like Jean more than I like Lumine. Keep in mind, I will be kind of factoring in, as I said, this is my own personal opinion, but I factor in game mechanics a bit. I like how Jean seems to kind of be like the mom of the Knights of Favonius and Mondstadt in general. Kind of interesting. In game, she's really good. She's really good. She's a great healer. So, yeah, I think she's good. I don't think she's amazing. I don't think she's like top notch in character design or combat, but she's nowhere near bad. Lisa is a meh. I will put her above Aether, but her character is actually quite cool. I really like her design. My issue comes from the sole fact that her kit is trash. Like, bottom barrel, like... I wish she was better. I really do. And she's hard to get cons for, just like Amber and Kaya. Yeah, they're not even like promoted on any type of banner, and it sucks. Okay? It just outright sucks. So unfortunate for Lisa. Really love her design. Which is why she's getting meh tier. I wish her kit was a lot better. Amber is the same thing, but I like her design less. So I'm gonna go here. I think my issue with Amber is her design doesn't leave much. Her kit's lackluster at best. And same flaw with Lisa. To get any cons, it's very difficult, and it's very, very, very luck reliant. So it's... Not only is she not worth trying to get the cons for, but it's almost impossible to even get the cons for her. It's... That, her kit's trash. I'm not the biggest fan of her in-game. So, personality-wise. So, that's just my personal opinion. Noelle, on the other hand, I'm gonna put Noelle at the top of me. Realistically, her kit doesn't have a lot to offer. However, with certain new claymores coming out, like Red Horn, and all the new like mono geo teams you can do, she's not a bad character. She has a really nice design. And unlike the two previous characters we just talked about, she's featured on banners. So you can actually get cons of her without it being like complete, utter random chance. I think Noelle's quite nice. She works great as an early game carry because you are guaranteed one of her. So yeah, I think she works. Oh, the controversy. I think Barbara's good. I think the addition of Nervalette, the fact you can get constellations on her, and how well she works with Nervalette works well for her. I know Nervalette heals himself, but she, with cons at least, gives Hydro damage bonus, which is nice. He kind of helps with her energy problem, especially in the team I run, where I have a Fabs user. Thrilling Tale is okay on her, or any way for her to kind of gain energy. But I think... Or wait, did I say Fab? Thrilling Tales is what's good on her. There's probably a better option you can use with Nervalette, though, but I don't think she's bad by any stretch in this. I know some people hate on her because she inflicts the wet status. It kind of sucks, but if you're not fighting an ice enemy, it don't matter. So, yeah, I think Barbara's good for that reason. Sucrose. I think Sucrose is going to be my first in the Amazing tier. She's bottom of the Amazing tier, don't get me wrong, but believe it or not, I used to run Sucrose Hyper Carry in early game instead of Noelle. This was my carry. C6 Sucrose is absolutely amazing. It's not that hard to get her because she tends to appear quite often on banners. We'll get to another one of those a bit later. On top of that, just as a nice swirl user, she procs Viridescent set. It's really nice. You can just run all EM on her and not worry about any of her other stats besides ER. It's quite nice. I think she's a great generic character for those who don't have like Kazuha or Venti. Even though I have those two characters, I still sometimes use her just because, yeah. I think the kind of push away from her ult's a little bit of an issue, but it's not terrible. So. One that goes above Sucrose and the Amazing tier is Fischl. Fischl, especially at C6, because her cons, again, are easy to get for a 4-star, relatively, is absolutely busted for a 4-star off-field support. I say support, off-field sub-DPS, I guess. She's great at applying Electro. She has a place in damn near every other comp in Genshin. She's been a featured character. Works really, really well. Yeah, Oz is just powerful. That's just all there is to it. And I have a really good Fischl set right now, so I'm also enjoying that. I'm gonna put Mona slightly above Barbara. I think Mona's fallen off a bit over the past over the past year or so. For the sole fact that big damage comps are still a thing, but you don't need her to do it anymore. She does apply nice off-field Hydro. That I feel is her main use now, more than like her ult that was like super damage buffy. You typically run other Hydro supports like Xingqiu, Yelan, Farina now. I feel like she's kind of lost in the shuffle now. But she also was my first 5-star, so I had to give her that. On to Kaya. Kaya's going toward the bottom of meh. I like his kit, hate his personality and how like semi-arrogant he is. He's not my favorite. I wouldn't say he's that bad though. His design's quite interesting. I like the eye patch. I like the fact that he's from Conria, which is always cool. Yeah, his personality leaves some to be desired, in my personal opinion. On to the Batman of the game. I actually like Barbara more than D-Luke, as much as I used to be a D-Luke fanboy at the beginning. D-Luke's cool. He was the original, next to Klee, big damage, pyro DPS. He filled his role well, and I know Cloud Retainer, can't remember what her in-game name is to save my life, has kind of breathed new life into him with a plunge comp, which is quite interesting. However, I don't have her, and I have better... There's been better Pyro carry DPS that have come out since. So I feel like his place has like been taken over tremendously to the point where he doesn't have... Where for a while he didn't have a decent spot. Now he has a niche. I still like his Batman persona though. On to Razor. Speaking of characters that Razor was one of those where he was great early game. He was a fantastic carry DPS early game. But as soon as you hit mid to late game, you kind of have like anyone else. Actually, I'm gonna put him below D-Luke. Because he was nice with what he did. And I like his personality a lot. I love his design. But he's mainly a physical DPS. Physical DPS kind of suck. And he leaves a bit to be desired. I like him better than Noelle because he can use a lot more claymores than she can. Especially like free to play wise. But he definitely leaves some to be desired. Okay. Time for some controversy. Bennett is possibly the strongest 4-star ever put into the game. Healing, damage buff with his all that good shit. He's fantastic. Don't get me wrong. That being said, though, his personality annoys the shit out of me. Him and Paimon are two of the very few reasons I actually leave this game in mute 90% of the time. Because if I have Bennett on my team, I'm just not the biggest fan of his personality. He kind of annoys me. Same with Paimon. But I feel like Paimon was meant to be that way. Bennett maybe not so much. He's just not my favorite. I'm sorry. Please, no hate to the voice actor. I still appreciate them. Ningguang's kind of the same with Lisa. Great design, but she's kind of lost her place in the game. She was a very cool Catalyst Geo user, but minus a couple of units, Geo's kind of dead. And even in mono Geocomps, I think they opt not to use her anymore. Correct me if I'm wrong. So she just doesn't have much of a place nowadays, in my opinion. Being a Catalyst user, she does have hundreds of options of what she can run, though, it feels like. But she's definitely nowhere near where she used to be when she came out. I think Beto's always been a solid character ever since Beto came out. She was nice. I love her design, pirate aesthetic, just 10 out of 10. Her story kind of with Ningguang, quite interesting to say the least. All you fan artists know what I'm talking about. Yeah, her ultimate's really good. She's a great support character. So I can't complain about her. The only reason I put her above Barbara is for the sole fact that I feel like Beto's used more in general. Again, as most Claymores work well as early game carries as well, so that's why, again, Noelle, Razor, D-Luke, Beto, most Claymores work well early. So, catching. This is my hot take of the stream because I hate this character. I can't stand this character. Almost every time I lose a 50-50, it's to this bitch. There's no other reason that I dislike her besides that I lose my 50-50 more to her than Chi-Chi. Like, I have like C2 or 3 Chi-Chi. I have her like C4 or 5 on one account. And yes, I've spent money here, there, everywhere. But every time I get this character, I'm just reminded the fact that I would have rather had a Chi-Chi, a Diluc, Tighnari Cons, just like any other basic character. And it also doesn't help that I got her recently instead of Shiori. That I didn't help her case. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of Kichi. Zhongling. Zhongling and Fischl go back and forth as just literally the top 3 4-stars: Bennett, Zhongling, and Fischl. Fantastic 4 stars. Again, I gave Bennett lower because I dislike Bennett's personality and stuff. Zhongling, on the other hand, he's a cook. But her ultimate's great. She's easy to get cons for. And she just works really well. You can throw the catch on her. As long as she has her ult up consistently. She allows vaporizes, melts. I used to use her in a Ganyu comp. Melt comp, or reverse melt comp. It was her, Ganyu. I want to say it was Bennett. And Zhongli. Ganyu was my first, super heavy hitter, main DPS, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah, Zhongli's just good. She's been good since release. You get her for free. You can't beat it. I like Chongyun more than Kaya. I like his design. However, outside of an early game carry, yeah, he's not that great. I don't see him used very much. I don't even know much of his own personality. Yeah, I just kind of wish he was a bit better as a Claymore user. It feels like all the Claymore users are kind of generic. They're good early game, shit late game, and that's just how it is. Wish it was better. The number 4 of the 4 stars. Because he's only used because Melt exists, but he's good at his job, Xingqiu. This boyo has been good since release with Klee and Diluc, and then with Hu Tao and Yoimiya. He just hasn't lost his place. Because Melt is still possibly one of the strongest team comps, or not Melt, Vaporize. One of the strongest team comps, still really good. Like Xingqiu's design, like their new alternate outfit. I think it's the first alt outfit I actually got. Even though I had a chance to get Fischl's, I just didn't care enough. Yeah, and Xingqiu's just been a reliable support character for me. And Xingqiu also can heal, so what more could you really want from a unit? Chi-Chi. How you had a place and then lost it as soon as any type of better healer came out, aka Bennett. Bennett didn't even come out here. I'm pretty sure Bennett was there from day 1. But Chi-Chi is kind of competing with Bennett for top healer. And since Bennett's kind of better in 99.9% of situations, Chi-Chi as a 5-star kind of got overlooked. So Another thing, it also doesn't help that, like, I don't know, she's just nowhere near as good as, you know, Bennett, who's a 4-star, or some other 4 stars and 5-star healers. I feel like Diona was better, which we'll get to her. But I like her design, like her personality. It's very interesting that she works at a pharmacy and is a zombie. So yeah. Also kind of reminds me of May's zombie skin. Zombie vampire skin. Shout out to those who play Overwatch. Venti's good. Venti did kind of lose his place with the advancement of giant boss enemies that you can't drag with his ultimate. And that's been Venti's biggest downfall. But Venti is in no way, shape, or form a bad character. Because Swirl is still amazing with your Iridescent set, that Resistance Shred. And his grouping potential, if you're in a floor that can or needs to group enemies, is untouchable. Love his black hole. Klee. Klee's kind of in the same place as Dealoo. I'm gonna put her right below Bennett. Look. The issue with Klee is same thing with Dealoo. With the progression of Vaporized comps, Klee's just kind of got lost in the shuffle. Her design is amazing though. I like her little elf ears and everything. But her attacks are kind of slow. Granted, it does allow her to be ran with just Yelan instead of Xingqiu Yelan like I have to do with most other Vaporize teams. So, it could, like, she's usable, but she's not the best. I feel like some of her best weapons are also, like, non-free-to-play friendly, so there's that as well. So, it could be better, could be worse, but I think she's good. Child. He gets to go right here with catching. Fucking hate him. Hate him more than catching, actually. Never pulled on a child banner. Never have. I started pulling on Zhongli's first banner and have avoided child at every step of the way. I can't stand his personality. No offense to the voice actor. I hate his playstyle. The only thing I relatively like is his love for his family, and that's it. I care nothing else about this character. Diona. I'm gonna put Diona at the bottom of good. Diona was a very valuable, like, 4-star shielder, and she also heals. So she's very valuable for those who don't have anyone better to do that job. Which I will say, I don't think there's a lot that do better at her job. She works great in, like, Ayaka Freeze. I think her biggest downside, though, is I think Kokomi kind of replaced her, if I'm not mistaken. And ever since then, she's just been kind of struggling for a permanent home. Her personality is also slightly annoying, but I think her design's cute. So, yeah, she's still viable if you have her, but if you have the next character, which is Zhongli, she becomes kind of a moot point in at least one of your abyss teams. This man went from being underpowered to overpowered as fuck. They put so many stat buffs up his ass, and it's so funny, bro. He went from everyone complaining. Keep in mind, I ended up getting 2 of him when I was pulling on his banner. He was the first event 5-star I got. I ended up getting 2 of him in the same temple. It was nuts, but that's neither here nor there. I now have him C2. But Yeah, once they shoved like the resistance buff and everything into him, he just became like one of the premier characters of the game. And he literally makes the game easy mode. He works great in most comps, especially with my favorite main DPS, who we'll get to a bit later. Yeah, he has a home in any team comp pretty much you want to put him in. Mono Geo, you can use him. You need it in Ganyu mount, can use it. Need it in Ayaka Freeze, you can use it. He fits a bit of everywhere pretty much. He's great. He's never like a bad choice. Xinyan, I really dislike this character. However, I think for me it's, no offense to Laura, I'm not a big fan of like the country voice for her. I also dislike her playstyle. But I don't think the character itself is bad. I know it was really good because her show cleansed a while ago. I've just never been a big fan of the character. She doesn't annoy me quite as much as Child and Catching though, which is why she's a bit above. So yeah. Albedo's niche, I'm pretty sure you only use him in Mono Geo, and I think he's even becoming replaceable in that. I've also never pulled for him, so I can't say too much on him. I don't think he's a bad character, though. I think he's very interesting. His platform's interesting. So yeah, I don't think he's bad. I haven't had a chance to use him, and I'm not the biggest fan of the Geo element anyway, except for a couple of new characters we'll get to. So yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good spot for Ganyu. Ganyu's still viable. Her charge shot's slow, and I know that's a playstyle not everyone likes, but I normally like playing archers in video games. Genshin being, not necessarily being an exception, but I've found other characters I like DPS-wise. Ganyu was my first main DPS, was a really good main DPS I had. I enjoy her design, I very much so enjoy her personality. Yeah, she's just great. The second 5-star I ever got in terms of event banners, was not disappointed. And she's still viable now. I think Hunter's Path has now become like the best weapon for her, as opposed to Amos Bow. But even then, Amos Bow is not a terrible thing. There's a couple of other weapons you can use to like free-to-play weapons and stuff like that. So I don't think she's bad. She's not free-to-play friendly, I would say, though. And I think that's one of her biggest drawbacks, is she's not completely free-to-play friendly. But other than that, very much so enjoy me some Ganyu. Where do I put Xiox at? I'll put Zhao here at the top of the map. I like Zhao's personality. I am not a big fan of the plunge playstyle. It's not for me. I tried it. I tried having him as my main DPS for a bit. I just couldn't get behind it. Vermilion's a shit set to have to try and farm at the moment. It don't do much. Yeah, I just kind of fell off with liking the character. I felt like a Nemo main DPS doesn't work as well as you hope it would. And I think that's my issue with Zhao. The Queen. I love Hu Tao. I've been a Hu Tao stan since I got her. Got her C1 recently. I've met her voice actor. Just extra points. Shout out to Brianna. Hu Tao is amazing. I got Staff of Homa on the original weapon banner when there was no pity. Yeah, call me crazy. I actually got my first 5-star weapon though, so there's that. I've spent too much money on the character though. I love Hu Tao. This is my queen. She will always be like the star of my main team comps. I'm gonna give Rosaria Ray Bullet Barb. Normally I wouldn't put Rosaria that high. It's cool that she gives crit rate, but depending on the team she's in, you might overcap it. But I like Rosaria for one very particular reason. For those of you who don't know, a streamer / YouTube person I like to watch named Slice. His Rosaria pools were atrocious, and I was laughing the whole way. It was so funny. And that's the only reason. I mean, as I said, her design's chef's kiss, but yeah, she mainly gets this high off of that Slice video alone. Thank you, Rosaria, for giving me the best laughs of any Genshin character. Tank Faye. She's okay. I was a big fan of like, oh, you know, we have a 4-star Pyro DPS character, so I can like Hu Tao one side, Yan Fei the other, and like, but Yan Fei's not the greatest. She's a charge attack character, which doesn't typically bode well. Klee was kind of better at the time if you wanted, you know, another Pyro carry, so was D-Luke. As Tank Faye, though, you have to have cons, although they're not the hardest thing to get for a 4-star like her. I feel like otherwise she's a fish out of water because there's just so many other good Pyro DPS in the game, even at that point, that she kind of fell behind. Eula. I'm gonna put Eula with D-Luke. Eula is another physical character, so she has kind of the same flaws as Razor. However, I'm pretty sure Eula has the single highest damage number of any Genshin character. I find it cool. However, I just don't care for her playstyle. I'm not a physical player like that. On that note as well, I like her design. Her design is pretty. But you can say that about most of the females in Genshin, let's be honest. Even some of the guys look amazing, so there's that. Kazuha has slowly risen up my list. This was a character when I first got him, I kept comparing him to my Venti, who I had already built and everything else. But as I got to playing him, I realized I was kind of playing him in like the wrong comp. Once I started playing him in my Novelette comp, even at like level 60 when he's not like fully powered or like he doesn't have a A4 passive or anything, I started to gradually like Kazuha more. I like the fact that his EM swords have slowly become more gettable. So you don't have to get Freedom Sworn. I don't plan on getting Freedom Sworn. His design is really nice, and I like his personality, though. I also like the fact that he was like the first Inazuma character that we got to see. Like Kazuha. I also like how he's wielded 2 visions. 10 out of 10, like Kazuha. Ayaka. I'm gonna put Ayaka here. Now, I like Ayaka a lot. So, for those who don't know, after I did Abyss, like trying to clear Abyss the first couple of times, which by the way I've never fully 12 started or whatever. But I used to run a freeze team with Ayaka, Mona, Diona, and Venti. And the comp was not bad by any stretch, but it kind of took over my Ganyu team, and I realized I like playing Ganyu more because I just have better artifacts for her at the time. So Ayaka kind of took a back seat in my game, and I just haven't kind of touched her since. Because with Sumeru and then Sumeru and both and Fontaine. Once they kind of came out, I kind of got some DPS I more enjoyed playing, or not even necessarily DPS, but we'll get there. So she kind of fell in the back burner, but that doesn't mean she's not an outright amazing character. She still has a place in my heart. This depresses me. I've tried for 2 banners to get Yoimiya and just couldn't get her. I didn't have the money to spend at the time. It depresses me. I really wanted Yoimiya. I have her Thundering Pulse. But both times I've pulled on Yoimiya banner, I've lost to this whore. So, it's very depressing. I love Yoimiya. I like her personality, like her design, like her playstyle. Farming artifacts on Shimenawa, which isn't the best set anymore. It's unfortunate, but, it's with Emblem, so it's not that bad. Saw you. I like Saw You. She goes really well with my Yelan, because my Yelan is C2 as well, because luck. So I can Yelan dash 2 times and then go to my Saw You and just roll. I like her rolling mechanic. It's really nice. Her ult's kind of cute. Her sleeping is adorable. I just want to protect her. She's great. Hi, Need It. It's all good, bro. How you doing, man? Hope you've been doing well. Raiden. I like Raiden. I think she's really good in the comp she works in. I know as time has gone on, her comps have gotten better and better and better. And here soon, I feel like just like Zhongli of the Archons, she's going to be closer and closer to a must pick, or a must have. But I'm really a fan of her. I like her style. The character's nice. I'm a big fan of purple. Day's been decent. How's yours? I've been doing really well, Nita. I have no emotional attachment to Sarah. No, she goes well with Raiden sometimes. I just don't care for the Tengu character. But yeah, it's been decent. I've done a lot of homework. I've played Genshin, which is kind of what prompted this. Talked to Galen a bit, things like that. Cocoa Nut. It's funny how some of the characters I don't have I've been placing the highest. Like Yoimiya and Coconut. I really want Kokomi. She works great, and if I get Kokomi or Coconut, she might actually enable my Ayaka play to come back, which would be nice. I would like to have Coconut. I've never played Aloy. I don't have a lot of attachment to the character. I didn't get her. I could have if I was playing at the time, but I was taking a break from Genshin. I've heard she's kind of bad. You can't get cons. Her weapon's not... Her signature weapon, quote unquote, isn't that great. So I just don't care for the character. Ooh, the Saltmaker. For all of you who love Toma, I appreciate you. I understand. I'm not a fan. It's another Pyro Shielder. Just kind of like Tank Faye. But I just never got with the character. He just wasn't my favorite. Coconut? Yes. I got it from a streamer I watch, and I've called her Coconut ever since. Need it. Look, if you have like self-control, I recommend you play it. If you're like me and don't have self-control, don't touch it. Ito. Ito is a character who is just as good as Noelle, a little bit better, but even after I got him, I never actually wanted him. But I just don't care for the character. Like, he's cool personality-wise. I really love his personality. But his playstyle's just not for me. Again, early game carry, amazing. Late game, not bad. He's just not for me playstyle-wise. Which, that's something I've come to learn over the course of Genshin, is I'm not the biggest Claymore user. I like D-Luke. Razor was cool for a while. But Claymores just don't really do it for me. I'm more of a Catalyst and Polearm user. I'll say that much. Goro falls in the same category as Sara. You only use him with like Ito. That's like his only use. Okay, that's good. Need it. I put over $3,000 into Genshin, so if you like the type of game, I recommend you try it. That said, yeah, Goro, he's like used in one team. He's not that great. I like his design though. Shenhe. I know Shenhe's become good in like Ayaka Freeze, if I'm not mistaken. I just don't have the character. I love her story though, and I like her design. Actually, I want to move her up here, above Diona. But because I don't have her, I don't want to put her any higher with her being a niche character. But love her design, love her story. Just don't know much on her playstyle. I know she's a cryo enabler though. That's fair, need it. As I said, I've put over 3,000 into it. So, learn to control yourself, and I think you'd be fine. It is fun, though. Yunjin is only going at the bottom of my tier because she only buffs certain characters. And she's very niche. I'm not the biggest fan of her design. Her hangout quest was interesting though. But I don't care much for her design at all. Her personality's kind of cool. What she does in game is just meh. So yeah, she goes in meh tier. Yes. The Kitsune. Love Yae Miko, she's pretty. I don't use her anymore, just kind of like the other ones that are kind of here. Besides Xingqiu and Kazuha. I enjoy Yae. I like off-field DPS. That way they enable my on-field DPS, like Hu Tao. The issue is Overload kind of sucks. And I feel like Yae's kind of competing with Fischl, and Fischl's more accessible. But I don't think Yae is bad. I know recently she's been used in like Quicken comps, if I'm not mistaken. Or Spread, or whatever it is. So, I don't think she's a bad character by any stretch. Love her design, very beautiful. Love her story. Good playstyle. Ayato. I'm not a big fan of... I won't even say his playstyle, but his optimal weapon set sucks. There's just no two ways about it. His optimal weapon set sucks. Because you're farming for him and Zhao, and that's like it. Yeah, she is like 500 years old, yeah. $100% need it. I love Yai. Ayato, though, his playstyle for me leaves a lot to be desired. We don't have, like, besides Zhangling, we don't have a lot of off-build pyro supports, quote unquote. And I feel like that's the only way he really works well with. So, I'm not the biggest fan of him. I wish he was better. Or had better supports to go along with him. Like, give us a fire official that just like auto target fires a fire off field thing, and Ayato will be fantastic. Keep in mind, all of these characters are basically on the same playing field. I love Yelan, just like Zhongli. I got C2 Yelan in 70 pulls. This character fucking loved me. I don't understand why, but she has been a pivotal part of my Hu Tao comp. She has about as much crit rate and damage as my Hu Tao, and can function as both main and off-field DPS. So, 100% recommend. Even if you don't have C2 like I do, she is still a fantastic character. Works really well with Xingqiu in this comp where you use. Here's the actual comp. I'll move Xingqiu back, but this is the comp I use. It's quite nice. 10 out of 10 recommend. Kuki Shinobu. Kuki, once again, another 4-star. An Alliance Electro Healer. Works really great with the main character of one of my upcoming comps. Before then, Kuki was kind of just made as a regular healer. When you say father, who are you talking about, Nita? Because I feel like you know a lot about Genshin for someone who doesn't play it. But yeah, Kuki slowly became from running like a healing build to an elemental mastery build. And I quite enjoy that. With a character coming up in just a bit. Haijo is a character I was super excited for, but you need some of his cons to make him super viable. And we got Wanderer not too long after, just kind of was better. So it was hyper unfortunate for Haijo. But I still think he's a cool character. I just wish he was better. Ooh. Tainari's cool. I like another charge shot user. I like his weapon. I just didn't click with his character story-wise. I just didn't care that much for him. Which sucks, because he was like the second Dendro character we got introduced to after the upcoming one. Arlecchino. Arleccino. And yes, Arlecchino is right here. So yeah, Tainari just wasn't even my favorite Dendro character when he came out. Not to say he's bad. I like Kale. I wish she had a better spot in the game. I still think she's cool though. She plays almost exclusively like Amber, but because Dendro's better than Amber's Pyro application, I think she's better. I love her personality so much more than Amber's. I think she's just the most adorable thing ever. Love Kale. Dory kind of annoys me. I like her better than the other characters below her. She's kind of annoying. Her kit's kind of underpowered, to say the least. And yeah, it's unfortunate. But yeah, Dory's just not my favorite. Yeah, I won't really ever use her. She's another Claymore character, but you don't really normal attack with her, so she's weird. I don't really use her. Sino. I'm gonna put Sino there. Sino's nowhere near the best DPS. I know he falls kind of near Razor. I will say this is a bit of me being biased because of his voice actor. Because I watch his streams and stuff. Sayu's cool. So, that's slight bias. I don't even have the character, but I think he's good. I don't think he's a bad character to pull. Candace is an okay character. Like, she's not meh, but she's not, like, above and beyond. I think if you're playing her, you have Staff of Homa or some other really good, like, stat stick polearm. So she works okay as, like, a Hydro main DPS. And I think that's just like Ayato, that's kind of where she shines. Alternatively, though, I know she has another playstyle that you can use with her. So, unlike Ayato, she's not super one-dimensional. And that's my only reason for rating her a bit higher. Yes. One of two things I run with an upcoming character. Love Nilou. Her design is very pretty. Her kit is very great. Her artifact set is easy to farm. And she is fantastic at one thing. Super Bloom. Oh, love Nilou. Because of this character. Again, all these are interchangeable. I love Nahida. I've been a Bloom and Hyper Bloom user. Like, even without Nilou, because I didn't get her at release. I literally had Nilou Yelan and just started proccing Blooms. With, like, I think it was Venti or Kazuha, one of the two. Typically, depending on the enemies. And I was running a Bloom comp like that. And then I learned about Hyper Bloom. So I started running Kuki in it. So it was Nahida, Kuki, Yelan, and rather Venti or Kazuha. Quite nice. Still enjoy playing it. Not my go-to nowadays, but it's not bad. Layla. I think Layla is just pretty. I like... She's a shielder, which, no offense, with Zhongli being a character I have, kind of diminishes her returns. But she's so pretty, and I love her personality. I loved her Hangout event. 10 out of 10 love this character. I'm 100% biased in this. And I'm okay with that. I'm not the biggest fan of Wanderer. His flight's cool. And in-game lore through videos. So, okay, that's cool, need it. I understand that. Sorry if it took me a second to look over and see that, by the way. Wanderer, I think, is an okay character, like Aisho. I'm not a fan of the character's personality. It's cool that he changed, it's cool that you can name him, but I just don't care. That was a cool thing they did, I just wish it wasn't on a Harbinger. You'll learn that most of the Harbingers I don't care for, depending on what their personality is. The reason Child's there and Wanderer's there. Faruzan... I think she's more... Her and Yoonjin are kind of in the same vein. They're super niche. Faruzan only works with the Nemo characters. I think her design's pretty, and that's kind of what carries her up to here. Otherwise, she'd be with Sara and the rest of them. Hyper niche, needs a shit ton of VR. I'll hate them. I understand why people like Alhaitham. Very handsome guy for all the women out there who fangirl over him. I understand it. His kit is great. His weapon is amazing. The thing, I'm just not one to like him. And maybe it's because his main comp is like spread and I'm not one for a lot of electro characters. But I never got into him, so I never really picked him up. So I can't say too much. But in his character test, I just didn't care that much. His personality was interesting, though. So, nothing bad to say about the character. Just not for me. Yao is almost in one of my favorite. You know, nah, fuck it. I love Yao. I have a DPS Yao build that works. Need it. Right here you go. Hu Tao is my main. I've put too much money into her. I've met Hu Tao's voice actor. Well, I'll show you something here after I finish the tier list and you'll understand. But yeah, I have a DPS Yao that I run as support. Yao's great. 60. I think she's at 63,200, which is almost as good as my Hu Tao. She has Homa as well. Both Hu Tao and her have Homas. She's great. I love Yao. Dea I just got, but I know Dea's kit is so bad. I wish Dea was better. I love her design, I love her personality, but her kit is trash. Mika, I've heard bad things about him, and I don't use him. I don't have him, so I can't use him. So, I'm putting him there out of just what I've heard. Baiju. I like Baiju, but the caveat is I don't have him. I tried to get him and lost to catching. You'll notice that's a theme. I lost to catching. Hate this character. Fuck you, catching. I do have his weapon too, which is equally as funny. But yeah, I wish Baiju was better. Or not better, but I wish I had him. Great, he shields and heals, always a great combination. Dendro is still a good element. Just wish I had the character. Kaveh I just got and don't play. So I'm gonna give him the bottom of good with Dea. I know he's a decent Dendro DPS though, but that's all I know. Kirara, I know she's a shielder. Dendro shielder. I'm gonna put her right below Layla, because I know they kind of preoccupy the same thing. I like her going up walls though. Need it. Again, if you wait till the end of this tier list, which I'm almost done, I'll show you something. So I'm gonna go ahead and group these characters together. Lenny and Lynette. Fucking love them. I love the magician theme. They're great. These are the first Fatui members I've actually cared about. Sweet. Yes, I just love these two. I'm not the biggest fan of Lenny's charge shot playstyle because I feel like it's not the best. But it's still cool. I use Lynette in my Nervalette team, which I know he's coming up. So yes, I like them. I like the designs. They're very beautiful. I love their personalities. Lynette's like a robot and Lenny's like a very performative guy. It's really cool. Really enjoy it. Fremine, oh Fremine. I'm gonna put Fremine here. Fremine just gets overlooked because he's like a physical cryo hybrid. He's really weird. But he's one of the few characters that you can use like certain weapons on that were previously useless. He's not my favorite. but he could be worse. I also, like, he's not very outgoing, so I can't say a lot on his personality. We haven't got a lot with him. So, yeah, he's at the bottom of good because I don't think he's meh. Novelette. I'm gonna give you guys a story. When Nervalette first came out, I was skipping him because I wanted Farina. Because I know from previous experience, all the past Archons have been great. At least, especially upon release, minus Zhongli, who got fixed. So I was gonna save for Farina. Well, I started doing random pulls on the weapon banner. And I got Nervalette's weapon early. And I'm like, well, I have his weapon, I might as well get him. And he has turned into my secondary team comp. I've grown to love Nervalette. He's a great, fun character. I enjoy him. And he's not the only one that I accidentally pulled that I didn't plan on it. Risley is another one. I have a really good Risley set that I enjoy. Didn't mean to pull him. Didn't want to pull him. Pulled him anyway. I didn't get his weapon, unlike Nervalette, but I still make him work. And he's proven to be good with my Mara Chassé set, because I have an on-set Cryo Goblet for him. So, I actually enjoy him. I like the Cerberus theme. I like the fact that he is a criminal, technically. Cool. Like his story. Farina, I just need to level her up. I just haven't had the time because I've got so many good characters. Love Farina, love her design, love her tragic backstory. For those of you who haven't seen it, recommend it. Love Farina, she's great. I'm gonna put Charlotte with Kali. I know Charlotte's sets, or actual kit, is decent. She does annoy me just a little bit in game though. Not a lot. Just a little bit, because sometimes she pops up in times I'm like, why are you here? That's my only gripe with Charlotte. Other than that, I think she's a good character. These. I love Navia. This is one of the 3 characters I wanted in the entirety of Fontaine. I got her. I have her weapon. Her weapon's a fucking axe. It's amazing. 10 out of 10. Love Navia. And she's pretty. And she's great for the story. Chevreuse has done nothing in story that I know of. Or I won't say nothing, but she hasn't done a lot in story at all. So I can't say a lot about her. I'm gonna put her below Fremine because I know she's very niche. She helps overload reactions, which aren't very prevalent, but she makes viable. I don't know how to feel about her. Xinyan, as pretty as she is, I don't know anything about her, so I'm gonna just put her with a bit below Diluc, aka because Benny's there, because I know she enables Diluc to be viable. That's my only reason for where I put her. I have no connection really with the character, so. Gaming, I have him, but I haven't really played him, so he's gonna go kind of like with these guys. He's gonna put Fremine above them and Chevreuse. I just haven't really played these characters enough to get a super good feel of these last 3. I pulled her even though I wanted the character that came out on the next banner, which I did get, but we'll get there. I don't think she's bad. I think she's interesting. She has her place. I think we'll have to see where she falls at the end of Fontaine. Because right now she's in a weird spot. Yes. The character who has quickly risen up the ranks. Yes, need it. 100%. I love Arlecchino. I've already got her level 80. I got her weapon. She uses a fucking scythe. Arlecchino's personality is 10 out of 10. It's the only Fatui member besides the kids that she raised that I've cared for so far. She just makes me happy. I love Arlecchino. Now we're on to characters that I don't know. I don't know their kits because they haven't been released. And I don't look at leaks all that much anymore. So this character, I know nothing about, so I'm putting them next to Traveler. I don't know anything about them. Clarand, I like their design, but I don't know too much about her kit. I know she's going to be an on-field main DPS. So I'm going to put her above Mona, just as a guess. Sigewinne is the only one I know somewhat of what their kit might be. I think Sigewinne is so adorable. She's going up here. Just because of her design alone. And her personality. Literally, Arlecchino has become like one of my favorite characters of all time. In case you can't tell, I have a thing for polearm users. They tend to be some of my favorites. So I'm going to zoom out. I've got to zoom out one more. So here's my list of my Genshin tier list. Now, with that being said, Nita, if you will give me all of like 2 to 3 minutes, I will show you something. Mainly because I gotta turn my light on and a couple other things. So give me just a second. Okay. So, what does it need it? Sorry, I'm kind of confused. You'll have to give me a second. I might have to make a new one. And we're gonna ignore what my desk looks like, chat. I wouldn't normally show this off. Although I don't know why this isn't. Okay. Sweet. So, as you can see, I actually have a signed print from Hu Tao's voice actress herself. And not only was it signed, but according to the back, this is the first one she signed. On top of that, I have one for Sucrose, signed by Valeria Rodriguez. I appreciate her. Also, what the fuck was in my mouth? I don't normally take these out because I don't want to, but I have another scent signed by Brianna when I went to see her at the local convention that's near me. And not only did I get her to sign that one, I also have this one, but she signed here. It's a little hard to see because of the color, but it's okay. Give me a moment. I've got to get these back in. Because I have the plastic that they came in. Well, that the Sucrose and the original Hu Tao one came in. So, needless to say, like, the local convention was like, I think it was $50 or $80 to get in. Something like that. And I 100% paid it just to see Brianna. And also, I have to give a shout out to Brianna because she also, via Twitter, has allowed me to use her music on my channel. She has given me permission, and I have used it sometimes. So I appreciate her for that. She is a great, amazing human. Highly recommend you all go check out her music channel, Starless Music. Yeah, 10 out of 10. Recommend. Also, need it. If you are not and have Discord, I do have a Discord server if you want me to post the link in chat. I'm going to sit here and chat just for a few minutes. Actually, I'll go ahead and just... I'll wait for Anita to respond real quick. So I'll go ahead and post my Discord link here because Nightbot might not post it. But yeah, Anita, if you want to join the Discord, if you're not already in it, there's the link. You can always chat more with me there. So yeah. With that, I think I'm going to head out. It was fun, guys. Thank you all for coming out. I'll see y'all later.